I'm glad you mentioned the American operation to take out Osama bin Laden, because I think a lot of Indians are also very irritated at Western hypocrisy, the way Western media, not all, but a large part of it, continues to report through a very biased lens, not appreciating India's battle against terrorism. Talk a little bit about that. That the Americans, when it impacts them, they went right in. They launched an entire war in Afghanistan. They had to leave Afghanistan without gaining much. But they did it because it was their people. When it's our people, they should appreciate what we feel.
Absolutely, ma'am. Ma'am, for very long in the history, most of the nations, including India, have been dependent on the Western world to sort out our problems. Gone are the days. Today, we have to sort out our own problems.
Yes.
We are the 4th largest economy. We have such a big military might. We are 1/6 of the world in population. That means if anyone has to even make a needle, he will have to come to India to sell it. Our economic might, our military might, our human resource might will ensure, and then we are the biggest democracy in the world. We have never had a prime minister going to jail the moment he is removed from the chair. We have never had a prime minister absconding to the third country the moment he is removed from the jail or chair.
Yeah.
So these are our mights and principles and our good faith, goodwill. Everyone will align with us. And we don't promote terrorism. Anywhere in the world there is a terrorist act, dots get joined to Pakistan. So we have to fight our own battles. This we have been very clear in this particular operation. Nobody will come to fight it for you. If you have to fight terrorism, you have to fight it on your own. If you have to fight Pakistan, you have to fight it on your own. And this time, we just showed a trailer how we can do it on our own.
And then, God forbid they try this again.
Sorry, if they try it again, they will get hit back again. And this time, because we are working within the terms of reference, and one of the terms of reference was we do not want escalation.
Yeah.
We are not interested in escalation. We are not doing the escalation. Like I said, we have to operate within the terms of, within those terms of reference of, no civilian, no military, no escalation. When they hit military, we retaliated. We achieved our aim more than what we went for. We neutralized the terror targets, we neutralized their air bases, and we conveyed a message with a zero impact on our side to us. Of course, our civilians have got hit. That is unethical on their part. But we could achieve our aim without going out of our terms of reference. And next time, if they try it, terms of reference will be different.
Yeah. Do you think it reminds us also about the precarious situation with China? Now, we had begun to have some sort of diplomatic reconciliation, but China is playing a kind of double game here. And China is also trying to, while fighting America, make amends with America by getting a trade deal. Should we not be very careful about China?
Nowhere in the world you have a situation of a country who has two nuclear neighbors, and both are not friendly.
Yes.
This is just because I want to tell these things to your viewers.
Yes.
They should be aware of what a nation we are, how much strength we have, how much resilience we have.
Yes.
Nowhere in the world any country has two nuclear neighbors who are both not friendly.
Yes.
Now coming to China proper. China-India equation is different. China-Pakistan collusion with Pakistan. Chinese collusion with Pakistan, and then China-Pakistan equation is different. One-on-one, we have a different relationship, confidence building measures and talks and this, that. We have ups and downs in our relationship. But when China is colluding with Pakistan and Pakistan is fighting us, actually when China is like that Shahukar, जिसका ना पैसा फंसा हुआ है, उसने that China-Pakistan economic corridor, CPEC, Gwadar port, वो बेचारा पैसा लगा के बैठा हुआ, लोन दे के बैठा हुआ, पैसा वापस नहीं आ रहा है. He can't let Pakistan die down. उसका पैसा डूब जाएगा.
Correct.
So he has to keep Pakistan afloat for his economic interests. The complete CPEC, the Gwadar port, his entry in the Arabian Sea, the warm waters of Indian Ocean, is through this line. So he has economic, business interest and long-term strategic interests. So he's stuck.
Yeah. But General, you said that look at us, we have two nuclear sort of powered nations, armed nations that are hostile to us in different ways. Yet we have a no first use doctrine because that is the country we are. In this period, some people have argued that we should make it clear that we can review this at will, or we should review it at will. What do you think about this?
Good you asked this question. Thank you for that. And I'll just take 30 seconds to explain what is the nuclear doctrine.
Yes, please.
So that most of the viewers will know, but some may not know. India has a declared nuclear doctrine.
Yes.
And it is self-imposing.
Yeah. It's voluntary.
It is voluntarily. It is not signed with anyone.
Yes.
No one has told us to do it. And we are not part of any treaty or agreement
Correct.
or with the neighbor or anyone.
Correct.
It is a self-imposed doctrine voluntarily. It says three things. It says first is, we will not use nuclear weapons against any non-nuclear state.
Yeah.
That means we will, even if we get into a fight with that or a war with that country, we will remain conventional.
Yeah.
We will not use nuclear weapons against a non-nuclear state. Very responsible statement.
Yes.
Second is, as a responsible nuclear state in the world, we will not use a nuclear weapon as a first strike,
Correct.
even against the nuclear powers.
Yeah.
But if that nation strikes us first, that a nuclear country
Yeah.
makes a nuclear strike on us first, our response will be massive with unacceptable damage. Now I will amplify the first strike.
Yeah.
First strike is against our military, against our civilians within Indian territory, as also if our military has advanced into the enemy territory by 40, 50, 100 kilometers, and enemy justifies a strike on our forces within his territory,
Yeah.
कि मैंने तो अपने ही देश में किया है,
Correct.
we take it as a first strike against India.
क्या मतलब अगर वो अपने साइड भी करे,
जब तक हमारे सरकार, हमारे फौजी या हमारे सिविलियन कहीं पर भी हैं, उनके खिलाफ न्यूक्लियर स्ट्राइक अगर दुश्मन करेगा तो दैट इज काउंटेड एज स्ट्राइक वन. वी रिजर्व द राइट. मैसिव स्ट्राइक, अनएक्सेप्टेबल डैमेज. नाउ इसमें देयर इज अनदर थिंकिंग कि वी डोंट हैव टू वेट फॉर हिम टू स्ट्राइक. न्यूक्लियर वेपन्स, द वॉरहेड्स and the projectiles are kept separately so that there is no accidental
Yeah.
thing. And when they are brought together before the use, it is called assembling or coupling, mating. So these two components are brought together at the place where they are going to launch from, or sit little behind that, and then they are carried forward and then they are launched. Now, if our intelligence, this is a school of thought, if our intelligence gives a clear indication and intelligence that they have moved both the components, they come to place A and they are now assembling it or coupling or mating, whatever terms, different countries use different terms. They are doing that. And this is the time we are very clear the enemy is assembling his nuclear weapons to use against us. Now, intent to use, where physical activity confirms that intent,
yeah,
is also taken as first use. It's not
I
that
see.
we'll allow him to fire and kill our civilians or kill our military.
And then we'll respond.
Then we can respond at that moment and call it a second strike.
I see.
So this is how the nuclear and the point which you made, should we review it? Ma'am, we can review it in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That right is with the Indian government.
Yeah.
We decide now is the time to review the nuclear strategy. We can make amend. Any terrorist act on our country, we reserve the right to respond with the nuclear strike. Or any country sponsoring terrorism from its soil, we reserve the right to hit it with the nuclear strike. Or we just say the first use option.
So we're not chained in any way.
We are not chained. It is self-imposed, sort of a principle on ourselves as a respectable and, following the laws of the world, responsible country who has nuclear weapons.
But I asked you this question because one, Pakistan repeatedly made brazen nuclear threats in the last few weeks. Their ministers, their defense minister, their other ministers, their diplomats, they said, oh, the full spectrum of options, including nuclear. I think the reason they do this is because they calculate that the West will get alarmed and then will urge India to restrain itself. So how does India counter this nuclear blackmail that Pakistan always does?
This nuclear bogey or nuclear bluff or nuclear blackmail, this particular conflict also sort of called it out.
Yeah.
I must explain again how it is different for Pakistan and India, even if they try it out as a first use. If you look at the Pakistan's length northeast to southwest, starting from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, going right up to Karachi or Gwadar, and see their width from Indian border to Iranian border. This is the strategic depth from Indian border to Iranian border, and the strategic north-south, sort of a distance is what it is. And all the 6, 7, 8 population centers or big cities are within this. And look at us, starting from Gujarat to Arunachal and Kashmir to Kanyakumari. And our population centers are spread right up to Calcutta, Guwahati and all. If Pakistan strikes first, even if a tactical weapon or a dirty weapon or by whatever, उनके तो मिनिस्टर कहते हैं पाइया पाइया के बम हैं,
बिल्कुल
आधे आधे पाव के बम हैं, and वो कहते हैं ऐसे बम हैं जो फेंकेंगे तो सिर्फ हिंदू को मारेंगे, मुसलमान को नहीं मारेंगे. So this is the IQ of the ministers, not going into that. So this is our depth. Now even if Pakistan hits first use, and our policy of massive strike and unacceptable damage, imagine they don't have the strategic depth to absorb our second strike, which is going to be massive.
Yeah.
They will be decimated. This they also know, the world also knows, and we have declared policy. That's why the bluff is called moment our nuclear doctrine is public.
Right.
We can absorb, we will suffer casualties, I agree on that. We will suffer casualties wherever that nuclear bomb is dropped. And second is we do not differentiate the first use from the quality of the bomb or the impact of the bomb or intensity of the bomb.
Yeah.
कि नहीं ये तो छोटा सा था.
Yeah.
No, it's the first use. We reserve the right of massive strike, unacceptable damage.